finding exceptional talent from the continent. Well, the winner of this year's prize has been announced. It is Kenyan television presenter Waihiga Mwaura. What are you looking forward to in terms of telling the African story and in terms of where you're from? What are we missing?
I think a couple of things that really need to emerge right now in terms of telling the African story is a lot more fact-checking, investigative journalism as well, and obviously getting different voices. Obviously, for the longest time, the narrative about what's happening in Africa is bad news. But ever since, and I got here a couple of weeks ago, I've been learning a little bit about solution-focused journalism. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on, this is something that Africa needs. It's not just about telling the problem, this happened, that happened, but what are some of the solutions? So I think a bit more of that will create balanced coverage of what is the African story at this moment.
But, as always, this new phase will not really be about us and our teams, but more about you and all the issues that concern you as a viewer and as a citizen of this nation. Tonight, your voice has just been amplified. And yes, you have acquired an expanded and enhanced platform for deliberate conversations that concern you. I'm a Kenyan journalist and the 2018 winner, as I mentioned earlier, of the Komla Dumor Award. And I'm sure a couple of you have been asking, who was Komla Dumor, just in case you had no idea, which is very unlikely. Komla Dumor was one of the greatest journalists that's come out of the African continent, began his work at Joy FM back in Ghana and then made his way to the BBC here, did some amazing stuff, sort of really told the African story very well. First host of Focus on Africa, he launched that program, he made it what it is right now. And then unfortunately at age 41, about 5 years ago, he just passed on suddenly. And in his honor, the BBC launched this award that is now in its 4th edition. And that's why I'm here. I'm the 4th recipient, first male after 3 amazing women, and really glad to be here and to talk about this. You have to be here to understand the smell oozing out of this place. And what makes the situation even sadder is this was a project meant to help the young people. It was vandalized by the young people because they were annoyed by what they had seen happening by those who they elected to assist them. So this is the man we knew before 2016, Bobby Wine the musician, and this is the man who rebranded himself in 2017, shaved the dreadlocks, put on the smart suits, decided to get into politics, vied for the Chadondo East seat in central Uganda. He took it, and he immediately became known as a critical opposition figure right around the discussions around presidential amendments in terms of the limits. He was against it. Of course, the parliament passed it, but that's when people really began to pay attention to this man.